Hello, how are you today? Wait a minute. This is not my voice, not the real one. We have to do something to fix this. Maybe a different nasality. This is not my voice with a bit less of nasality. And oh yeah, much better. Hello, how are you today? I will present you a dramatic reading. I will use today The Hobbit. And a specific fragment I would like to present you is the one just after Bilbo and Gollum dialogue, when the dwarves and Gandalf get out of the caves, of the Goblin caves, and they ask themselves, where is Bilbo? Well, Gandalf in this part starts the dialogue asking, where is Bilbo? So let's see this scene. I hope you enjoy it. Let's go.
After all, he is my friend, said the wizard, and not a bad little chap. I feel responsible for him. I wish to goodness you had not lost him.
The dwarfs wanted to know why he had ever been brought at all, why he could not stick to his friends and come along with them, and why the wizard had not chosen someone with more sense.
He has been more trouble than you so far, said one. If we have got to go back now into those abominable tunnels to look for him, then drat him, I say.
Gandalf answered angrily,
I brought him, and I don't bring things that are of no use. Either you help me to look for him, or I go and leave you here to get out of the mess as best you can yourselves. If we can only find him again, you will thank me before all is over. Whatever did you want to go and drop him for, Dori?
You will have dropped him, said Dori, if a goblin had suddenly grabbed your legs from behind in the dark, tripped up your feet, and kicked you in the back.
Then why didn't you pick him up again?
Good heavens! Can't you ask? Goblins fighting and biting in the dark. Everybody falling over bodies and hitting one another. You nearly chop off my head with Glamdrin. And Thorin was stabbing here, there, and everywhere with Orcrist. All of a sudden, you gave one of your blinding flashes, and we saw the goblins running back, yelping. You shouted, "Follow me, everybody!" And everybody ought to have followed. We thought everybody had. There was no time to count, as you know quite well, till we dashed through the gate guards, out of the lower door, and helter-skelter down here. And here we are, without the burglar. Confused to get him. And here's the burglar, said Bilbo, stepping down into the middle of them and slipping off the ring. Bless me, how they jumped! Bilbo was so pleased with their praise that he just chuckled inside and said nothing whatever about the ring. And when they asked him how he did it, he said, "Oh, just crept along, you know, very carefully and quietly." Well, it is the first time that even a mouse has crept along carefully and quietly under my very nose, and not been a spot at all, said Balin. And I take off my hood to you, which he did. Balin, at your service, said he. Your servant, Mr. Baggins, said Bilbo.
Then they wanted to know all about his adventures after they had lost him, and he sat down and told them everything, except about the finding of the ring.
Not just now, he thought.
So, we just heard the reading, and now I would like to explain you what have I done to craft these voices. So, what are the voices we can find in this part of the text? Well, the first one, Gandalf's voice, then Dori's voice, a dwarf, and the Bilbo appears at the end and have a little dialogue with Balin, another dwarf. So, what have I done with my anatomy, and what do I use from the text to craft these voices? Well, in first place, Gandalf. For Gandalf's voice, I wanted it to be in a low pitch. Yeah, so I use my larynx and get it down. And
In this part, with this movement, with my larynx down here, I will talk like this because it's a low pitch. And after that, I want that the voice gains a bit of elderly effect. So what do I do? Well, for that, I use a voice quality that is called vocal fry. Yeah, vocal fry is basically it's very common tool for dubbing actors, voice actors. They use it to do a very low voice with an effect that is, it sounds like bubbles like this. It's like a lot of bubbles are rising from down here. So the vocal cords are very, very close one to the other. So with this and with a low pitch, I do the vocal fry, and it sounds very like a very elderly voice. What a voice I have. It's a very deep voice.
Not too deep, just a bit. Well, at least for my medium pitch. So if you have a very
Low pitch.
as a basic, you will probably not need to do this movement, but maybe a bit, maybe not too much. So it depends on the person. And after this, the vocal fry, I use a way of talking, the way in which I read the text, the melody of the phrase, so it sounds like a song with the notes.
La 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 la.
I need this for Gandalf, and very pointed. The high parts are very pointed, so they sound like
La 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 la. So, what are you doing? I don't care. Well, that has got us on a bit, said Gandalf.
this way. So, this is the way in which Gandalf will talk. And after this, we have Dori. In order to craft Dori's voice, I use a voice quality that is called falsetto. With falsetto, I can reach higher notes that I will not normally be able to reach, that go beyond my normal scale, we will say. It's in my normal voice, it will be this one, but if I add falsetto, it will sound, this is falsetto. It's higher than my normal voice, because what I do is going high up, and when I cannot go beyond with my natural voice, I need to change to falsetto and talk like this. So this is very common in singing. Sorry. Yeah, singers, especially men, use it a lot to reach higher notes. Besides this, I use like a Russian R that will sound, how dare you, not too much, just a bit, kind of between 1 and 5, maybe 3. So, yeah, how dare you. So I use this falsetto and the R, and the way he talks, that is like, good heavens, can you ask? Like, I want to finish. Can you ask? Goblins fighting and biting in the dark. Like a very rocked ending. I want this because I think Dori needs something funny in his voice. It's a very serious scene because they don't know where is Bilbo, Gandalf is angry, and I need someone with a bit of a fun element. You nearly chopped off my head with Glamdrin, and Thorin was stabbing here, there, and everywhere, and everywhere. And everywhere. At the end of everywhere, I'm in my natural voice area. But at the beginning, no, I'm using falsetto. You nearly chopped off my head. So next is Bilbo's voice. So in order to craft Bilbo's voice, I do larynx inclination, and this is something that I like to use when I want to craft a voice that is kind of childish, or for a person that is small and has a lot of energy, like Bilbo has, and he's a hobbit. He is perfect for this kind of voice. So I use this larynx inclination, and sounds like this. Oh, okay. So yeah, hello, I'm Bilbo. So he's kind of shy. I like to add this to Bilbo because he is he has lived in the Shire for whole his life. So he's new to the Middle Earth, to big countries and all of this, to an adventure. And he's like, how, I like to use an effect for this kind of voices. I use it for Merry and for Pippin too, and it's create a contact between the tongue and the teeth. So it's in the sides. So I create a U form with my tongue. Yeah, this is weird, but it's very useful, especially when you want to in theater, for example, when you are on stage and you want to talk and you need that your voice reaches the person that is at the end of the room. Well, I use this because I think that Bilbo needs a lot of energy in his voice. So this is perfect. Not like talking like this way. Just a small version. And with the larynx inclination and the high pitch, kind of high pitch for Bilbo, it will sound, okay, so where is the ring? Oh, where is Gollum? Oh, Gollum, I'm afraid that he's very close. Yeah. Like, yeah, to do this inclination, you can use that picture of oh my god, I'm so shy. Oh, yeah. This helps a lot. So finally, Balin's voice. To craft this voice, I use Margaret Thatcher way of speaking. Because Balin is a very wise dwarf. He needs power like all the dwarfs to his voice, but he's like talking like a politician. He needs something strong in his voice, and I want to add this to a man voice, lowering the pitch a bit. So I thought, how it will sound Margaret Thatcher man version. For Balin, I think it's perfect. So talking like this, it is perfect. It sounds like Margaret Thatcher, kind of. So under my very nose. And yeah, it's a very British accent. My very nose. It's very British and very like an I. You can use the I, the letter, and like my very nose. What are you doing? Stop! Shut up! Like very, like a gentleman kind of voice, mixed with Margaret Thatcher voice, lower pitch, and yeah, this is Balin, and yeah, the way he talks is well, it is the first time. He goes up, the voice goes up, and then goes down, like a peak, like ooh, my very nose. An example, it will be, there were no wolves living near Mr. Baggins. How dare you, Mr. Baggins? I like this part. Under my very nose. I think this reflects perfectly this way of talking. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any question, please ask me. I will try to answer all of your questions. Try these voices and tell me what was your experience. And try new voices too. I think this is a perfect way of enjoying a book that you're reading. And well, this was my first video in English. I hope you can understand it. This is not easy to me. I usually do this in Spanish, so this was a challenge. I will try to do this again, but Let's see.
Boy, 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 boy.
But with a special effort in the and the ring. Boromir. Oh my god.